Welcome to the very first episode of It's Not About the Money, It's All About the Money. I'm Margaret Johnson, founder of Women in Money Incorporated. And this podcast was created for women entrepreneurs who are tired of pretending that everything is fine. Women who are working hard, serving clients, building businesses, holding everything together. And yet behind the scenes, they may not be paying themselves properly. They don't know where the money is going. They might be carrying some debt, avoiding their numbers, undercharging, overgiving, and quietly wondering, why am I working this hard and still not getting ahead? That's why we're here. Because the truth is, it's not about the money. And absolutely, it is all about the money when you are in business. Let's start with the truth. Most women don't start businesses because they want to become rich. They start businesses because they care about something. They have a skill, a calling, they want the freedom, they want the flexibility, they want to help people, and they want to create something that is theirs. But along the way, many women discovered that passion does not automatically create profit. Being good at what you do does not automatically mean that the business will survive and pay you. And helping people does not mean that you should be working for free. That is the uncomfortable truth about being in business. Many women entrepreneurs are making money in their businesses, but they're not building a business that financially supports them. They're paying everybody else first, suppliers, contractors, software fees, taxes when they can, credit cards, and everyone else. And then, finally, if there's anything left, they pay themselves. That's not a business model. That is survival. Too many women try to survive inside a business that they created for freedom, and they are losing freedom. Here's what I hear from women a lot. They say things like, I'm so busy, but I don't know where the money's going. I'm making more money than I used to, but I still can't pay myself. I'm embarrassed because I think by now I should know this. I don't want to look at the numbers because I'm afraid of what I'll see. I keep giving discounts because I don't want to lose the clients, or I say yes to little extras, and then I resent it later. I feel like I'm failing. I do not know who to talk to. And one of the hardest things for women to admit is this. They may be working harder in their own businesses than they ever worked in the corporate world. Longer hours, more pressure, more responsibility, less steady income, no guaranteed paycheck, no paid vacations, no benefits, no pensions, and no one else is carrying the risk of the business. It's all on them. And yet, they still tell themselves, I just need more clients. Well, often more clients is not the real issue. The real issue is that the business is not structured to pay the owner. The pricing may be too low, the boundaries may be too weak, the expenses may be unclear, the business and the personal money may be mixed together, and that's a recipe for disaster. The owner may be absorbing all the pressure, and the financial reality may not be visible. That's why this conversation matters, because when women do not have a safe place to tell the truth about money, they often keep carrying it alone inside. They hide it, they minimize it, they blame themselves, they feel ashamed, and they keep working harder. Somehow, when the budget doesn't balance, it's their fault. But working harder is not always the answer. Sometimes the answer is finally stopping long enough to look at what is really going on. Here's the money reality. If your business does not pay you, something has to change. That doesn't mean that you're bad with money. It doesn't mean that you're not smart. And it certainly doesn't mean that you're failing. It means the financial structure of the business needs your attention. And a business that has revenue and still not has profit really needs your attention. Business can have clients and still not have cash flow. A business can have cash flow and still go bankrupt. A business can look successful from the outside and still be financially stressed behind the scenes. That's why we have to stop judging the surface and start looking at the reality. Because here's what often happens. A woman entrepreneur brings money into the business, but the money goes everywhere. Some goes to expenses, some goes to personal expenses, some goes to debt, some goes to taxes, some goes to fixing what happened last month because there was a shortfall. Some goes to keeping up appearances, and some just disappears because there is no system. And then when she looks at the bank account, she thinks, where did it all go? That moment can feel awful. But that moment is also powerful. Because once you're willing to look at where the money's going, you can start to change it. You can start to control it. Money needs a place to go. Profit needs to be planned. Owner's pay needs to be intentional. And taxes need to be respected. CRA is the most dangerous creditor anyone could ever have. The pricing needs to support the business, and the boundaries need to protect the women running the business. It's not about becoming perfect with money. It's about becoming honest with money. And because we do not look at, we cannot change. Let's talk about the shame. So many women carry quiet shame around money. Shame they don't know their numbers, they have debt, they're not paying themselves, shame that they undercharge people, shame that they said yes when they really wanted to say no, and shame that they're tired, shame that they built a business and are still feeling financially stuck. But shame does not build a better business. It keeps women silent, and silence keeps the problem hidden. Here's the shift I recommend if you want to consider. Your financial reality is not a character flaw. It's information. It's not good. It's not bad. And it's not proof that you're failing. It is just information. And once you have information, you can make decisions. That's why I use the words no shame, no blame. Because blame keeps you stuck in the past and shame keeps you hiding. But truth gives you a place to begin. And that's what this podcast is all about. We're going to have conversations that women entrepreneurs are often afraid to have. Conversations about pricing, profit, debt, owner's pay, discounting, boundaries, fear, confidence, avoidance, and the financial reality of running a business as a woman. Not because we want to judge you, because we want you to have the information so that you can change things. Here's your action step for this week. I want you to ask yourself one question. Is my business actually paying me, or am I just paying for the business to exist? Sit with that question and really think about it. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge the answer. Just write down the truth, whatever that is. Then look at these three things. How much money came into the business last month? How much did the business actually pay me as the owner? Did you pay yourself intentionally or only if something was left over? And that's it. Don't make it complicated. Don't try to fix everything this week. Just look. Because looking is the first act of financial courage, and courage that matters. Courage is not having all the answers. Courage is being willing to tell the truth. That's what courage is. If this conversation spoke to you, I want you to know this. You're not alone. There are many women entrepreneurs having the same quiet conversation inside their own heads. Women who are smart, capable, hardworking, and deeply committed to their businesses, but who are also tired of carrying the money stress by themselves. That's why I created Women and Money Incorporated. And that's why we have the Women and Money Collective. The collective is where women entrepreneurs come together for honest conversations about money, business, pricing, profit, boundaries, and the financial reality of building a business that actually pays them. It's not about pretending everything is fine, and it's not about blame, and it's certainly not about shame. It's about telling the truth, being supported, and beginning to see what needs to change next. And for women who are ready to go deeper, the collective is the gateway into the Financial Reality Program, where we look more closely at the structures, the numbers, the patterns, and the plan that needs to be put in place to move forward. The podcast starts the conversation. The collective gives you a place to continue it. And the Financial Reality Program gives you the deeper structure to change it. Welcome to It's Not About Money. It's all about money. I'm so glad you're here. And I hope this becomes the place where you feel seen, heard, and reminded that your business is not just supposed to survive. It's supposed to support you. Till next time, remember, it's not about the money. It's all about the money.